Hi, my name is Noel Davis with Vermicompost, and here's our week 19 update on our new worm bin, and we're going to check it out, see how it is. I don't know if it needs new food or if it still has food, so we're going to take a look and see how it's doing and see where we stand. All right, let's go to the bin. All right, here's our bin. Let's just take a look here. Oh, I see a few flies, it looks like, coming out now, so yeah, this is still having a fruit fly issue. We're getting some fruit flies coming out here. There's actually a worm here on top of the bin, but I'm guessing that the new food that I put in attracted some fruit flies back in here. And you can see them, well, it looks like they all flew away now, but there's some on the floor behind it, the bin and everything. So this is definitely still having a little bit of a fruit fly issue. Now, let's just dig in here a little bit and just take a look here, see what we see. Not seeing a whole lot here. I thought, it's just I don't want to dump everything out onto the floor here by accident either. It's a little dry over here. The middle's nice and moist. I'm not seeing much food. I thought I added quite a bit last time, if I remember right. Oh, here we go. It's down here, it looks like. There's some worms down in here. So there's some of the food, it looks like. Yep, there we go. Here's a little bit of the food that I added last time. As you can tell, oops, this is part of the pumpkin. There's a lot of worms over here by it. It's everything's kind of compressed together a little bit more over here with it, but there is food over here. So let's go to the other side now. I think I added to both sides if I remember right, although I might be wrong here and maybe the middle. It looks like all that might be gone. But we're definitely seeing a lot of, I don't know if you noticed this here, the bottom of the bin is getting this black gold that everyone talks about. See how this is all broken down? It's really more of a, it's becoming more of that material that you really are looking for. And you notice it's all throughout, this is the burlap actually, but it's all throughout the burlap here is this material. Okay, here we go. Here's a whole bunch of worms right over here. Let's see if you can see this here. Looks like some of this is rotted out a little bit right here. Oh, there's still some skins in here and stuff, and there's a whole bunch of worms right here. Now, let's see if you can see that. And it smells a little bit, but not too bad. It's not like it's completely and utterly devoid of oxygen, but it has a little bit of an odor to it this time, which isn't something you really want. I'm going to put a little bit of cardboard over there. So it looks like this is doing pretty well. The worms are a little bit less than I expected. I was hoping to have a few more worms in here. It's dried out a little bit, but overall it's not doing too bad. It's definitely starting to get, as you continue to mix this up with the cardboard and everything, and this living material that I'm sure other people have mentioned before. So this black material here, this brown material that I'm getting out of the bottom, that's living material. This is loaded with microbes, and usually it has some cocoons in it, although I haven't seen any cocoons, I have to say, since we started this, really. I haven't really seen too many. Normally you'd see a lot of cocoons. But, you know, you mix this in with the cardboard, and then the cardboard has those microorganisms on it, and that's what the worms eat. So its key is getting that kind of mixed in with everything, and that's how they're gonna multiply quicker. When there's more food, they're going to start multiplying. They're going to start laying cocoons. When there's really not a lot of food, they also do the same thing. When things are okay is when they seem to do the worst. I've found that if it's just good enough, it's like, well, they kind of hang out, but they don't do much. So I'm just digging around a little bit more in here. See if we can get down to the bottom in here. Alright, so we're down to the bottom of the bin. I'm not seeing any. Let's see if we can get this way. I'm down to the bottom of the bin here. There's not a lot of moisture down here or anything. It's actually fairly good, actually, the way the bin is. I mean, it's not like this is some newspaper from the bottom. A little bit of a smell, but not too bad. I mean, you know, it's not like it's horrible, but it's definitely better than I expected. I mean, like, it could be, you know, there's times where I've had these bins and it's just been completely saturated. So I'm going to add a little bit more food, even though I still have some fruit flies in here. Now, unfortunately, I don't have any coffee grounds this week, which I would also add too. So I'm going to add banana peels, which I have to admit is going to be a fruit fly magnet probably, which is one of the issues with banana peels. But I'm going to really cover this up and kind of press this down a little bit. Really cover up this side with this stuff. And those are frozen banana peels, which is what I do a lot of. I add a lot of frozen food. I have to admit, I'm a little lazy when it comes to this stuff. A lot of times I'll chop stuff up, but sometimes I don't. You know, I just have it in these containers in the freezer, and I just throw it in. So here's a kiwi, some celery. These are skins from mangoes that I've cut up. So I'm just going to throw all those in over here. Again, I'm going to cover them up. Maybe try to dig up a little bit from the sides here. Try to keep these really well covered, so that way the fruit flies can't get down to it. And we're going to just sort of leave them like that. So there we go. We've got all this stuff covered. The worms should work their way down into it. And I still have some more stuff left over, but this is why I have multiple bins. I mean, I have multiple bins because I go through a lot of fruits and veggies here. You know, I mean, most of this isn't like this is stuff that went bad. These are leftovers from cutting things up and stuff. So that's our week 19 update here. We added some more food. It's still working. Still a little bit of a bug issue, which I have to say is a little harder to deal with in some of these smaller bins like this. It's a little easier if they're taller. I do have an 18-gallon that I use too, but I found those to just be really hard to use because of the size of the bin and the way that the moving it around. It just becomes very difficult when they get heavy. I mean, these things, I mean, this is probably already, you know, probably 20 pounds or something like that, and this can easily get up to, you know, like 60 pounds probably if it's filled with dirt. So these things start weighing a lot. So that's one thing to think about. That's the reason why I use these 10-gallon ones. So far so good. We're still slowly composting everything in here. We haven't got any good compost out of it really to use in a yard or anything, and the worms haven't expanded as much, but it's not like I added a ton of worms to begin with. So we'll see if we can build this up a little bit more. We'll start adding more and more food each week, and we're going to try to make it where the population really starts exploding in here. So I hope you enjoyed, and that's my update. Thank you.